Hello. In this video, we are going to make it so that the player can fire lasers up at the aliens. All right, so this will definitely be part of the game scene. So we are just going to figure out how to make this happen. So when the player presses on the space bar, then that's when we need to generate this laser object. So we're going to kind of in the same place we did on key down. So this looks like a good spot right here before we call on key down and after we call spawn aliens. Then we can just use the function on key press. Because on key down keeps happening as you hold down the key, which is really good for left and right movement. But for firing with the space bar, on key press is better because that's when you start to press the key. So use the on key press function. Takes in two parameters. The first one is a string for what key is being pressed, and the second parameter is the function for what happens when that's done. So I'll say quotes space, comma, and then an arrow function, parens, arrow, curly braces, and open up the body of that function. All right, so what should happen here? Well, we should use the add function to add a new object. All right, and we always add a list of components here. So first I'll give it a tag of laser, and then this is just going to be a rectangle with a width of like 5 and a height of 10 maybe. So a really small rectangle. Give it a color object of red, so 255, comma 0, comma 0. We will want it to have a area for sure because we're going to eventually do collision. But it doesn't need a body. It doesn't need to be solid really. That's not exactly what it's going to do, but definitely an area. Oh, a position. We're going to have to figure that part out. So do this. We'll call the pause function. Um, for now, I'll just say something like 50, comma 50, but we don't want to figure that out. All right, and then what else might we need? Okay, well, let's kind of leave it at there for now. Let's just see if we can get a laser to show up. This pause 50-50 is kind of weird, so let's think about it a little bit more. So the position for the X value will be in the middle of the screen. I think we're going to want to change that. So width parens divided by 2. And then the Y position will be, kind of from the bottom of the screen. Yeah, tell you what, I'm just gonna leave it. Yeah, this height parens minus 50. I'm just kind of typing almost the same idea that I did for when the player, the same code for when the player was spawned. We do kind of want it to come from the player. I don't think that's going to work perfectly quite yet, but take one step at a time. So we should now get this object to appear. So I think we're going to see that. All right, so I do get the laser to show up, and if I move my player, then we can see a little better that they're right there. All right, so we want the lasers to move and shoot upward. So check out the or the Kaboom documentation to see, well, are there any other functions that could help us here? We've used things like player.move before, and we can do that. But let's just see what else we have. There actually is a component called move. Moves toward a direction indefinitely and destroys when it leaves the game view. So I think this is exactly what we're looking for. All right, so they give this example here. So this does look pretty interesting. All right, so with this, in that move function, we can either give it just a number for the direction, or we could give it this like vec2 thing for a direction. That's like when X and Y are combined together. We're going to go with the number idea here. And we also give it a speed for that number. So basically, in that move component, just give it two numbers. So comma, so I can add a move component. And the first number is for the direction. So we want to think about like degrees that we're rotating in. So let's see if 90 degrees is the correct choice for going up. Because if you would spin all the way around, that's 360 degrees. If you'd spin halfway around, that would be 180. So let's test to see if 90 does mean up. Where does 0 degrees start at? And then the second number for the speed, kind of make it pretty fast. So maybe I'll try like 1200. So yeah, let's see what that does. That move should just make that happen automatically. All right, so we might just not see it, or maybe there's... Okay, so it looks like it's spinning down. So let's play with that move number here. Maybe 270? Okay, 270 seems to be the right number. Apparently, to the... what would it be? To the right is the default. So we're spinning, or to the left is the default, so it's spinning. Yeah. I knew that I was moving down when I said 90, and 90 plus 180, which would be a half turn. That's 270, so it seems to be the right number. All right, and the speed might even be a little slow for a laser, but so maybe I'll bump this up to 1600. I feel like lasers should be faster than that. Okay. So my FPS is getting a little slow, so I wonder if they really are being destroyed or not. But at least they're moving. They're going up like that. All right, so I see on this example here how they are using the cleanup function here. So I don't know if that's happening or if we need to add that as well. But what the cleanup function does is destroys the object if it goes out of the screen. And then we could say, um, some kind of a time. But so let's just go ahead and add that cleanup function there. Comma, and then clean up component. That will automatically destroy the laser if it flies off the screen. So hopefully this will keep our game from lagging too much. If I keep firing lasers and lasers and lasers, my FPS can at least still get back up. I think it's working. Okay. Now, as I'm kind of looking through, I wonder if there are these constants like up. Give us a vector 2, so we could swap those out for something like that. Instead of saying 270, which kind of felt like that was very strange, I could actually replace it with just capital UP. This is a constant, it's just a variable that's been created. Um, so see if that really does match with up. Okay, so it just knows what up means. Kaboom has already went ahead and made some of these variables, just like they actually did make variables for red and green. All right, so we got the laser to fire.